to take his usual place in midfield. Nick Cusack starts the match up front, with Craig Patterson joining Ian Angus on the bench. And few players have made a more dramatic impact on the international scene recently than Tom Boyd, who came here as a YTS boy, became the Premier League's youngest skipper, and is now a key member of Scotland's European Championship squad, following that great debut as a substitute against Romania. And after those two great wins in the past week, Hearts manager Joe Jordan was hoping that his injury problems were clearing too. But George Wright hasn't recovered from the injury he sustained in midweek. To balance that, though, John Cahoon and Ian Ferguson are fit to play, and so too is Gary Mackay, an excellent replacement for Wright in midfield. And John Robertson returned to the team to score twice in that great European victory in midweek, to take his total for the season to 7. And he's set to be Boyd's teammate for Scotland against Switzerland in 10 days' time. And the referee this afternoon, Mr. Derek Miller from Garrow Hill. So Motherwell will start the match, playing against the breeze. And it will be very interesting to see early on how the conditions here affect the play. The pitch will cut up without any question. It's been very heavy rainfall, which has prevailed all day long, and the players will be anxious to get their first touch. It's a fascinating contest, this. Motherwell playing their fourth home league match. They've won all 3 previous games, and they haven't lost a goal here in the league at Thetford Park. On the other hand, Motherwell haven't managed to score a goal away from here in the league, and they've lost all 3 of their away matches. And Hearts, on the other hand, beat Motherwell a total of 5 times last season, 4 times in the league, once in the Scottish Cup. So they clearly will be coming here full of confidence. There's Tosh McKinlay. Ian Ferguson enjoying a new lease of life since the arrival of Joe Jordan as the Hearts manager. There he goes again with that neat little layoff. Good linking play there between Mackay and Robertson, but Colin O'Neill won it back. There's Cooper, and now Russell. Arnott peels off to the left for Motherwell. Followed across by Levine. The early cross delivered, and Dave McPherson was there. Here's Russell, and now Kirk. Cooper playing it through. Here's Steve Kirk, it's back with Boyd. Henry Smith didn't get a touch, that'll be a goal kick. And they could easily have found a gap in that Hearts defence. Great ball this from Davy Cooper. Kirk looked up, tried to take on McPherson, and broke back for Boyd, and the shot was swerving wide of the post. Good understanding there between McCart and Maxwell. Well-controlled header that from Kirkwood to Cahoon. Losing out there to Boyd. Here's Arnold, a chance to go through himself. Here's Cusack to the right. A chance for Cusack. And it was brilliantly saved by Henry Smith. That was outstanding goalkeeping, but what a fine move it was. Tom Boyd won the challenge initially, allowed Arnold to go through. A good understanding there with Cusack on the right. He set himself well for the shot towards the bottom corner, and Smith brought off the save. Russell slants it across. O'Neill again, he's offside. That must have been close. Frustration there for the Irishman. Colin O'Neill linking brilliantly there at the edge of the penalty area, but that must have been a very tight offside decision. Look at the pass here, he made his run to follow that through. The back healer came there from Arnott, and the flag was up against O'Neill. The referee gives the free kick to Hearts, taken by McLaren to Cahoon. This is Kirkwood. Now Bannon. Maxwell making sure there was no possibility of an error there, going across his goal. Eamon Bannon, the match winner for Hearts last week against Dundee United. Played inside there by Cahoon, held up well by Kirkwood. And Bannon found room to make that turn and fire the ball wide. Headed away by Bannon. There's Burley, and Dougie Arnott this time caught offside for Motherwell. John Fleming from Glasgow, the far side linesman. McKinlay playing it long. There's Robertson with a beautiful layoff. There's Ian Ferguson. That's fine play from Hearts. Superb build-up this was, with the long ball Head flicked down by Robertson into the path of Ferguson, who's so deadly from that position. Good play from Kirkwood. Cahoon now taking on Boyd. Now Robertson. Using McLaren as a decoy, who made that run on the outside. Here's Cahoon now, making for the byline. It's well taken by Maxwell. Superb goalkeeping in treacherous conditions. John Cahoon showing his menace on the right with his fine break. Ball played inside there by Robertson, and there was Cahoon racing for the byline. This took a deflection. It was well held by Maxwell. Cooper's pass releasing Burnley on the right. Support arriving in the box now. Here's Kirk. Well, he was looking for Cusack at the far post. Arnold with around the near post. A disappointment there for Kirk. Kirk's header. Returned by McPherson. I hope the marker for Robertson this afternoon. Here's Cooper. That's fine play by Cooper. That was for Arnott. Escorted back by McPherson for Smith. But this really is shaping up to be a fine match. Both sides opening up in 4-3-3 formations. That should make for some good creative football. Here's Kirk. Long run being made by Cusack, but Levine is there with him. Good defensive play that by Levine, matching the run from the Motherwell striker. Good play from Burnley. A turn from Cusack. Turned away there by Gary Mackay. And Motherwell have a corner kick. And corner kicks here at Fir Park, always providing some menace, with Cooper able to take them. Arnott looking for space in the penalty area. He's at the far post. So it's the first corner kick of the match for Motherwell. Cooper with the in-swinger. Punched away sensibly there by Smith. O'Neill returns the ball for Cooper. It's a good opening for Motherwell. And Cooper wins a corner kick off McPherson. Well, Henry Smith chose to punch the corner kick a moment ago rather than try to catch it in these conditions. Pulled it away by McKinley, straight to Cooper. It's for Arnott. There's Arnott again. Blocked by McLaren. Well, the Motherwell fans thought that there was a foul on Arnott inside the penalty area. The referee in good position, no, disagreed. There was a ball slanted in there by Cooper, McLaren and Arnott together, and Arnott couldn't get the shot past McLaren. Russell to Cooper. Brilliant play by Cooper. That's for Russell. A superb sweeping move from Motherwell. And Bobby Russell just about a foot wide with the effort. Look at this play from Cooper through the legs of McLaren. The pass was perfect for Russell. First time with the left foot, just wide of the post. Kirkwood's head flick, Ferguson helping it on. There's Cooper again. Oh, that's great play once more. Bannon coming inside to challenge O'Neill. Nyholt, Russell, Cooper, Russell again. This is Arnott. It is magnificent play this from Motherwell. Now Kirk, looking for Cusack. Brilliantly stopped by Henry Smith. And the rebound shot over by Boyd. Well, had that header from Cusack gone in, it would have been one of the goals of the season without question. A superb move from Motherwell, finishing with this cross from Steve Kirk. Cusack at point-blank range, but Smith stood up to him well to make the block. He's a bit concerned about Levine. Alan Ray, the physio, is on. Craig Levine plays in contact lenses. I wonder if he may have lost one. McPherson winning that well from Cusack. Another quality pass from Russell. This is Cooper. Burley has gone ahead, allowing Cooper to come inside. There's Cusack! He's offside, it won't count! Disappointment for the big Englishman. Well, the Motherwell fans on their feet there, they were convinced they'd gone in front, so was Nick Cusack. It's a great ball list from Cooper. He looked up there, saw Cusack on the far post, the diving header. Smith beaten this time, but the flag was up. The Hearts have got on their substitute, Derek Ferguson, replacing Craig Levein, with alterations in defence for Hearts. Alan McLaren has gone to central defence beside Dave McPherson. Dave Kirkwood to right back, allowing a vacancy in midfield for Derek Ferguson. Kirk, there's Cusack. Russell makes an angle. That's towards Steve Kirk. A bit of touch his arm. Well, Kirk goes down, but he doesn't make any real protest. That's explaining allegations of handball, I think. Nijholt again doing well in the air against Robertson, as he certainly ought to, although he's not too tall, the Dutch central defender. He's quick in the ground though. There's Bannon. Nijholt getting up well. Bannon again. A shot on the turn from Robertson, and yet again top-class goalkeeping from Maxwell. Ferguson was hovering there waiting for a rebound. Bannon doing some good work here for Hearts. Delightful little chip there. It was headed away by Nijholt. Bannon again. Robertson on the turn. Look how important it was for Maxwell to hold that. Touched away by McCart. Oh, it's a great ball from Cahoon. Here's Mackay. Inside is Ferguson. Top-class finishing from Ferguson. And Hearts go ahead. And this was a goal to savour from Hearts. Motherwell will feel it's against another play, but it still was superbly created here by John Cahoon. Delightful little chip, turned inside there by Mackay, and look at this finish from Ferguson. So Hearts fans rejoice, Ian Ferguson justifying the faith shown in him by Joe Jordan with his first goal since returning to the Hearts side. Cusack, good running by Arnott. Looking up for support inside. Kirkwood with it full strength, full stretch. There's Cusack to Cooper. Back with Cusack! Snatched at that, perhaps in too big a hurry. Well, Cooper going inside Kirkwood, laying that across to Cusack, who set himself well, controlled the ball well, and sliced the shot wide. Well, referee Derek Miller brings to an end an outstanding first half. The team separated by Ian Ferguson's tremendous goal 5 minutes before the interval, but that was scant reward for the effort put into this match by Motherwell. The 2 goals chopped off for offside produced some sparkling creative play from midfield, but yet it was Hearts who were deadly just before half-time. So the score here at Fir Park, Motherwell 0, Hearts 1. There was a rousing welcome for both sides when they came out to start this second half, quite justifiably. The Hearts fans very happy, of course, that their team had gone ahead just before the interval. Motherwell, though, receiving appreciation from their supporters for the outstanding play they offered for long phases in that first period, but so far without reward. So Hearts resuming with their enforced change. No Craig Levein. He went off with an apparent eye problem in the first half, replaced by Derek Ferguson. Well, we'll still have Craig Patterson and Ian Angus on the bench. So a goal kick to Hearts. Will be taken by Henry Smith, and he certainly was the player who kept Hearts on level terms in the first 20 minutes or so, with several outstanding saves. Russell there to Barley. Cooper has crossed to the right again for Motherwell. Cusack is penalised for that clash with Mackay. Nijholt trying to judge the pace of the ball off the surface. That's good play by the Dutchman. Barley forward. Steve Kirk has crossed to the left flank for Motherwell with Cooper on the right. Here's Arnott. Turning and twisting away from McLaren. Good cover provided by Kirkwood in the box for Hearts. Boyd helps it on to Kirk. Switches his right foot. There's Arnott! And another outstanding save from Henry Smith. That might well be the best of the lot so far. Richly he deserves that applause. It's flighted across by Kirk. The downward glancing header there from Arnott, and Smith at full stretch. Here's George Burley. Cusack's header goes straight inside towards Kirk. Here's Arnott, screening the ball. Two Hearts defenders around him, McKinley and Bannon. That's Cooper, taking on Kirkwood. Still Cooper. The angle shot, and it almost slithered away from Smith. Arnott was hovering there. Smith recovered quickly. Here's Cooper now looking for the shooting chance. Checking inside, rifling the shot in. Spilled for a moment, but Smith reacted quickly. And Hearts are making another change. Sean Robertson is coming off. Conditions militating against the little striker. The replacement is a more powerful runner in the form of Wayne Foster. So a direct change, striker for striker. Coming off the head of McLaren, it's retrieved by Arnott. Cooper wants to become involved again. Cooper trying to get away from Kirkwood. Has to settle for a corner kick. Playing it in early, there goes Kirk. Well matched all the way by McLaren. There's a chance for McCart. Motherwell equalised. The referee has chopped it off. And I think you'll find this is because Dougie Arnott was in an offside position. More frustration for Motherwell from the corner kick. McLaren got his head to that. Now look at Arnott there, number 7, right on the goal line virtually. As that ball came in, it was then deflected, came back again to McCart. Arnott is still in offside position, and the referee decides he was interfering with play. For the third time, the ball has found the net behind Henry Smith, and Motherwell still haven't had a goal. Still trying to keep the pace up in their efforts to get back on terms. Discoun trying to release Foster. Cusack helps it on. Arnott is in behind McLaren. There's just no way past Henry Smith it would appear this afternoon. Played on there by Cusack. Arnott shrugging off McLaren, trying the first time. Guided ball to the corner, and Smith was across quickly. Kirk almost kept the ball in play. Sends the linesman spinning. Well, that's taken in good spirits there. Jim Cole from Ridley. The linesman, little did he expect that. Deposited on his back here as Kirk tried to keep the ball in play. Didn't quite make it. The flag went up. And Kirk carrying on sends the linesman spinning. Although the damage on the linesman, none the worse though. Barley towards Cusack, cross goes McPherson. Cusack taking that first time. Arnold trying to flick it on towards Kirk. He's earned a corner kick though. Good play by the big striker Nick Cusack though. Cooper with the short corner this time to Russell. And still it will not go for Motherwell. Chris McCart flying into the far post. Beautifully played in this by Cooper. McCart racing in there, diving in the header, couldn't keep it down.
Derek Ferguson to McCart. Well, forcing Smith out of his area. Up goes Boyd. There's Cooper. Now Russell. Boyd supporting on the left once again. Taking on Gary Mackay. Appear to be impeded. Still Boyd going forward. And a corner kick's been given. Well, Gary Mackay, my mind, lucky that a free kick hadn't been awarded. Appeared to hold off Boyd on the run. He then thought it should have been a goal kick. There's the corner. Kirk touching it on. Cusack for Motherwell. An equaliser which is richly deserved. Well, these Motherwell fans undoubtedly must have been wondering if a goal was ever going to come. But Cusack has obliged. But look at the part played here by Chris McCart in this goal. The corner kick from Davy Cooper, the head flick on from Kirk was blocked there by McPherson. But Chris McCart teased that up for Cusack, and the power of the shot made it impossible for McKinley to keep the ball out. A fine goal there from Cusack. That's his fourth of the season, and Motherwell now in full trial looking for a winner. O'Neill chipping that beyond Mackay for Boyd. Powerful play from Boyd. It's helped on by Arnott. There's McCart and Cusack. Oh, once again, Henry Smith looks to be the calmest player on the field. Superb play there by Tom Boyd. Arnott helped the ball on. McCart was almost impeded there by Kirk. Cusack in his head to the ball. He couldn't get real power into it, and Smith made a good save. Goes right across from Ferguson's miscue to Cahoon. A chance now for Hearts. Still Cahoon. Well, his teammates complaining inside. He had support in the box. There's Cooper and Russell. Now Dave Kirkwood. Kirkwood a chance for the winner. Denied by Maxwell. David Kirkwood can't believe that. He appeared to do everything right. After that error by Bobby Russell, he got away from McCart. Tried to play the ball beyond Maxwell. That's an outstanding save. Here's Ian Ferguson. That's fine control. That's for Foster. Brought down by Nyholt. Turned away there by Barley. What view will the referee take of that? Nyholt seemed to try to play the ball, but just a fraction late as he brought down Foster. Certainly tried to play the ball, I think, Luke Nyholt. He brought down Foster. The referee is quite content that there was no malicious intent in that. Just beaten by the pace of the Hearts striker. So here's a late opportunity for Hearts to win the match. Ian Ferguson is there, so is Eamon Bannon. Just over a minute left in the match. There goes Ian Ferguson. Tremendous power on the shot. It was treated with great respect by Maxwell. And Motherwell trying to hit back, and Maxwell clearly felt the sting in that shot from Ian Ferguson. Well, there are few better strikers of a dead ball in the country than Ian Ferguson, and this will prove the point. Beaten away by Maxwell. And the referee brings the match to an end. He didn't allow much injury time. Nick Cusack eventually gave Motherwell a point with that fine goal in 72 minutes. It was little more than it deserved for a fine overall performance. Hearts were on the ropes for much of the time. Ian Ferguson scored an outstanding goal in the first half, but Motherwell appeared to be the better side for most of the match. They got the reward from Nick Cusack to make the final score. Motherwell won, Hearts won.
Henry, it's difficult for every player in these conditions, but particularly for goalkeepers. How was it today?
Very difficult. I mean, you've seen the rain. I mean, non-stop. Balls was like a bar of soap, and very slippery coming off the ground. Very difficult indeed for goalkeepers.
And yet you had 2 or 3 outstanding saves. I remember the headers particularly from Dougie Arnott and Nick Cusack in the first half.
Yeah, they're the sort of the headers that the keeper likes to make saves, you know. The one from Cusack, I just spread myself, you know, and unfortunately for me, it hit my chest, and one of my mates cleared it away. You know, I'm from Dugiana, you know, you just try to flick it with his head, and I just got a fingertip to it, and I think Alan McLaren was just there to boot it out for a corner. Yeah, very pleased with him, you know, it means that's what I'm paid for.
You're the kind of goalkeeper, Henry, that always gets stick from opposing fans, and it strikes me that you always quite enjoy that.
Oh, I love it. I mean, if they give me stick, you know, they keep off the boys' backs, you know, it makes them play. But I'm big enough, I can take it, and I always come back smiling.
So a point today. Overall, it's been a pretty good week for Hearts, hasn't it?
Tremendous week, especially pleased for the gaffer. Boys did great on Wednesday night for them, especially the first half where they got the goals, and then we sewed it up second half. You know, didn't give them a chance. And today, one of the best of places to come in Firhill, and unfortunately we got a point. And I mean, that's the gaffer, he's unbeaten as gaffer, so just got to keep it going.
Great, Henry, thanks very much.
Thank you much, Dickie.
Tommy, you dropped your first home league point, but how do you rate the overall performance?
It was a very good overall performance, especially the first half. I think the players, they were getting a wee bit frustrated at half-time, but in terms of the performance, I thought it was excellent, and it was just a matter of persevering, and you know, eventually we got it. But as far as I'm concerned, it's still a point dropped.
You had, of course, so much to play in the first half and then went behind to that Hearts goal. How did you see that?
For their point of view, it's a good goal. It's a clinical finish from the boy Ferguson, but from our point of view, I think a couple of wee mistakes defensively there allowed that to happen. What I was saying at half-time is the most important players for us in that first half, I felt, were two central defenders, because we had so much of the play that their concentration had to be such, and as I say, we gave a half chance and we found ourselves punished by it.
Was there ever a point in the match in the second half where you thought it wasn't going to happen for you?
I definitely felt the longer the game was going, it was going to be one of these days, because there were so many chances went a begging there, and I think it was good goalkeeping, good luck, and bad finishing.
You played a 4-3-3 formation. You altered a little bit to cope with the Hearts set-up, and you had Cooper and Russell, of course, offering you so much in that first half. But were there other players that pleased you in the Motherwell lineup?
Well, I think really Kuzak today done a bit better. Him and Kirk haven't been doing as well as they can be. Their standard, you know, it was set last season, and so far this season they haven't got to that standard. So I felt they two today done a bit better.
Now you've got 3 home wins and a draw and an away record, which is not very impressive. On the play that was offered this afternoon, do you feel Motherwell can make a real challenge?
Well, it's up to the players. I honestly was saying to them there after the game, we've played 7 games so far this season. We've only another couple to see what's on offer. And there hasn't been a team that I honestly feel that we should be frightened of. I think there's been stages in the game that we can prove as good as what's on offer so far. The only disappointment I've had is really the Rangers' second half performance.
Well, the real joy this afternoon. Thanks very much, Tommy.
Thanks, Jock.
Little Tam and a big umbrella, but really all credit to both teams. The rain was relentless, the conditions were not good, and yet it was a smashing game, Derek, wasn't it?
Yes,
Tremendously entertaining.
It looked great there, Dougie. Compared to what I watched at Pittodrie, that was a marvellous game. Chances there and good skill as well. I think full marks also to Andy Russell, a little groundsman. The pitch looked magnificent.
Oh, you'll never hear the end of it now. Let's take a look at the scores, particularly of Davy Cooper, who still must be the steal of the season. £50,000 Motherwell paid for him, and Coop can still turn it on like very few players can.
Well, I think Tam's still laughing up his sleeve at that one. Look at that. I mean, it's hardly a backswing, isn't it, David? It's like your 9-iron on the golf course, Dougie. Magnificent stuff. Look at that. He's the Peter Pan, really, of the Premier Division, isn't he? Superb skills from Davy Cooper. He's just set so many people. As long as people are willing to run off the ball for him, he will certainly find them. There's the ball to the back. Here he is. He's overrun the ball. He keeps looking for it in the box. Look at the skills. Look, normally we'd hit that over first time, but he's always looking for the man for the feet. That was a bad finish here that time. I think he should have hit the target, but so much skill, it's not true. You never lose your skill.
His balance is wonderful, isn't it? Henry Smith, too, who you heard there, obviously. Henry had one of those days, and he thoroughly enjoyed it, didn't he? He's a character, Henry.
Very much so, and I think the players do have confidence in him. There's a lovely save. Look how far out the goals he is. Out the 6-yard line, narrow in the angle. Tremendous save by him. There's a lovely ball again by Kirk. Look at this, off his line again. Doesn't stay in his line. He came there, threw himself at the ball, and it came off his chest. But goalkeeper, how many times do you see goalkeepers, the ball hit their feet, their knees? He did tremendously. Look at that save. That's the save of the match for me.
Super.
Brilliant header by Arnott. He's got down, it's on the ground, and he's put it by. Tremendous save.
Yeah. Just generally and briefly, that's a great game we saw today. I think overall the standard in the Premier Division this season that I've seen has really been very encouraging.
I think last year was probably the worst I've ever watched in the Premier League, Dave. But you're right, 7 games gone. I saw more skill in these 7 games than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Obviously, with all the Dutch players coming into it, the English players, it is making it a better league.
Absolutely. So there we are. And you're off to a wedding tomorrow.
I certainly am. It's a young man, Mr. McCoist, is being married tomorrow, Dougie, down south. So we have to make the early trip there. And I'm afraid I'll miss your golf outing tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, they were looking forward at North Berwick to see these 300-yard drives of yours, but another time it will have to be.
Certainly.
Thanks, Derek. Well, St Johnstone took their first point at Parkhead since 1971 in a no-scoring draw today. Saints keeper Lindsay Hamilton produced half a dozen marvellous saves to deny Celtic the points. Mickey Weir was the Hibs hero with the only goal of the game in their win over St Mirren. That takes Hibs off the bottom of the table, while the Dundee United and Fairmont match was abandoned by referee Brian McGinley after 62 minutes, with United leading 2-1 at the time. If the pitch dries out, the game is likely to be replayed this midweek. A point for United would of course be enough for them to regain the lead in the Championship, which Rangers took over today. In Division 1, Airdrie dropped their first point and Owen Coyle failed to score. His brother Tom, though, scored one of Clyde Banks' goals in the 2-2 draw. Hamilton Accies went down 1-0 at Raith Rovers to an Ian Ferguson goal, while Dundee won 4-2 at Ayr United and Falkirk 3-1 at Clyde after being a goal down at half-time. Brecon City remained the only side without a victory after losing 2-0 at home to Kilmarnock, who took their unbeaten league run now to 5 matches. East Fife remain unbeaten at the top of Division 2 after a 2-1 win over Stennismuir. Ian Brown got the winner there 10 minutes from time. Stranraer also collected full points. Derek Cook was the scorer in their 1-0 win over Montrose. And there were 3-0 wins for Arbroath over East Stirling and Berwick Rangers over Albion Rovers, while Queen's Park maintained their title challenge with a 3-1 win over Queen of the South, whose later rival, due to the road conditions, delayed the kick-off for 15 minutes. And in the Scottish Qualifying Cup today, in the North section, Brora Rangers 0, Inverness Thistle 6, Inverness Cally 2, Cove Rangers 2, Elgin City 2, Fraserburgh 2, and Ross County 3, Huntly 0. In the South section, Dalbeattie Star 0, Spartans 2, Gallifrey 1, Vale of Leithen 2, Threath Rovers 2, Burnt Island 0, and Whitehill Welfare against Wigton and Bladnoch was postponed. They, of course, playing for a place in the first round proper. On December 8th, we'll be featuring it heavily on Sportsy. Well, now to rugby and an all-border First Division match between Jed Forest and Hawick from Riverside Park. Jed Forest are one of only 4 sides with victories in their first 2 matches, and with